Hello and welcome to the fresh start of a new series of Oxygen Live webinars. My name is Belu and I will be your host for the following weeks, starting with today's event, Oxygen AI Positron, transforming technical content creation through AI-powered writing. As we all know by now, the introduction of OpenAI's ChatGPT has unlocked a world of possibilities for revolutionizing technical content creation. So, with this in mind, my colleague Alex Gitiano, software architect at Synchrosoft, created this webinar so we can explore together how AI can be a game changer in content creation. To do this, he will be introducing you to the Oxygen AI Positron Assistant add-on, the all-encompassing solution designed to elevate your productivity and transform your writing experience. Because this powerful add-on seamlessly integrates the OpenAI ChatGPT engine with the Oxygen XML tools, ushering you in a new era of efficiency and creativity for technical writing operations. Now, before we get started, let me tell you the information that you need to know about today's live event. This webinar is being recorded. This means that in the following days, the recording will be made available on the event page on our site, oxygenxml.com, along with Alex's presentation slides. And also the recording will be uploaded on our YouTube channel as well. Some of you might be accustomed with our YouTube channel, Oxygen XML by now. And if not, I strongly encourage you to take a look at it afterwards so you can sift through an impressive library of video tutorials. Another important aspect of today's event is that as we go along, we encourage you to ask us questions by using the questions panel from the GoToWebinar interface, where our colleague Radu Koravu will assist us by answering to all of your questions in real time. And of course, we will be addressing those questions again at the end in a Q&A session, along with the latest entries for the benefit of everyone joining us today. Now, it's time for the moment that we all were waiting for. Let us welcome Alex Gitiano to the virtual stage. Hi, Alex.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. Thank you, Aline, for your kind introduction. So Oxygen AI Positron is our tool, our new tool in our toolbox for helping those working with technical documentation. So we've started working on the AI Positron in spring this year, and it's been quite a ride. We've released in a very short time span four versions, and we still find exciting new features to implement and to bring them to you. So you'll be hearing about the Oxygen AI Positron in the future as well. So just a few ideas about the topics that we'll touch in these presentations. We'll introduce the so-called positron actions, the chat view, and what workflows it empowers. We'll talk a bit about customizations, how to provide a context, how to create new actions, how to share them, and how to create favorites. A few words on how examples help to get the correct answer from the AI, and how Oxygen Positron helps you in recording these examples. We'll talk a bit about validating your project, of course, and how to use the AI in this validation. And we'll also have a quick glance at the web author integration for Positron. I won't go into many details because we have another webinar scheduled next week dedicated to the web author, and there you will see alongside other features the AI Positron as well, but we'll have a look at it in this presentation too. So first of all, how to get it? Well, because we wanted the AI Positron to have a quicker release cycle, one that it's not linked to Oxygen's own release cycles, we've chosen to develop it as an add-on. So if you want to install it in Oxygen XML Author, you go to Help, Install New Add-on, and you can use this search field to search for Positron, and you'll see the Oxygen Positron Assistant. You'll be able to select it. You'll follow the installation procedure, and afterwards it's going to be present on your system. It's compatible with Oxygen version 25 or newer because we used new API introduced in these versions, like improved diff tools that you'll see later on, and other features. So that's how you get it in the desktop. In the web author, if you go on our website, so actually we can do it like this. So you can go to Oxygen web author. There will be a try it online button here, and you'll be able to choose one of the sample documents. And again, you'll notice this AI Positron Assistant view, which means the Positron Assistant is available and you can try it. Right, so once you get the AI Positron, the next step is to connect to the AI Positron service. And you do that from the Positron Assistant view. There's a connect button here. You click it, and you'll be taken in the browser where you will be able to authenticate using your Google account or GitHub. So this authentication, it's just a matter for us to ensure a fair usage between our Positron users. And also, I should also mention that the AI Positron is available as an evaluation. So you'll have a number of, we call it credits, monthly quota of such credits that you can use to perform various tasks. And in the near future, in order to to support the development of new features, we will introduce a subscription licensing model for it. But right now we are focused on adding more functionality and receive feedback from our users about which areas we should focus more. Right, so we've connected to the Positron service. Before moving forward, we should address the elephant in the room and say a few words about that data privacy, because it's a concern for many of us. And so AI Positron uses the OpenAI models through their REST API, and according to their term of use, when you use this REST API, they will not use the content to develop or to improve your services. So there's no risk here, as opposed to when you use the ChatGPT website. The content that you give there might be used to develop or improve the ChatGPT models. So got lost here. So talking to an AI. So first, let's talk about a few concepts. So a prompt represents a set of instructions and context that you give to an AI to perform a task. So this is how you interact with an AI model. And prompt engineering refers to the development and refining of prompts to best perform a specific tasks. Now, while doing this prompt engineering, you will face many challenges. It's a time-consuming effort. It's an iterative process. Many times, just like a mischievous genie, the AI will give you what you asked for, but you realize that that's not what you actually want. So that's why I'm saying that it's an iterative process in which you you test a prompt, and afterwards you see on various inputs, and when you observe that it doesn't give you the correct answer in a context, then you add instructions, you change some instructions so that you get a correct answer in that particular case as well. So that's why I'm saying it's a time-consuming process. So to help you with that, we've went through this prompt engineering, and we've developed a number of so-called positron actions. So these are what you see here in the Positron Assistant side view. All these positron actions, they actually each one represents such an AI prompt. And I will present a couple of them in actions, and I will let you experiment with all of them later on when you get the time. But let's take the short description case. So according to the data style guide, best practices for authors, written by Tony Selfs, that we've integrated at one time in our XML author, short descriptions is arguably the most important component of a data topic, but also it's one of the most difficult elements to write. It's important because many times the people will, the readers will decide if they go into your topic by reading this short description. So it has a great weight on it. So if it's so important, then why not let the AI help you in writing these short descriptions? So this is what we did. So we created a short description action, and I have a topic here on the right. It's one about adding media resources to a document in Oxygen, and it lacks a short description. So to generate one, I will click the short description action. You'll notice in the Positron chat view on the right, it gets initiated, this action. And I see the response from the AI with a short description, which I can insert it. There's this yellow highlight to help me pinpoint what got inserted. But we've also added the possibility to change a number of parameters that we've noticed to be helpful when writing short descriptions. So for example, I might want them to be engaging. Like I said, it's the readers might decide if they interact with my documentation based on reading this short description. So I might some search engines will extract the short descriptions out of my documentation and present it to the users when they search for something. So I might want it to be engaging, and perhaps I might want it to have less sentences like so. And afterwards I save this configuration. So the next time I invoke the short description, these parameters will be passed to the AI, and I will get a different answer. And I can also click here preview, and using our visual diff, I'll be able to see exactly how the two answers are different. And if I'm okay with it, I can click apply, and the short description will be updated. Okay. Index terms, another important aspect in writing documentation, is adding metadata. And again, we've thought it would be helpful to have such an AI-powered action. So if I click this index term action here, this content will be given to the AI, and he'll be asked to give me a number of index terms that I can put in my documentation. So in this topic, so I can click insert, and now I have index terms as well. And I'll also make a couple of grammar mistakes here. And afterwards, I'll use the correct grammar action. And again, we can preview to see exactly the changes. And we see that it picked up these two. So here it should be played, here it should be engaging. We'll click apply, and the paragraph will be updated. So still on positron actions, another interesting use case is this one. So I write the documentation topic that will be published to a web help responsive maybe, and afterwards search engines, which might also be powered by AI in the near future, will consume these HTML pages to give an answer to the reader. And so at writing time, one of the important question that I can put that I can ask myself as a technical writer is, does this topic really answers a particular question? Because as I write the topic, perhaps I believe that it does answer the topic, the question, but I might be surprised um, when I ask the AI to see that the answer is not actually here. So for that, we have this answer question action. We click it, and afterwards the system gets initiated, and I can ask the question here. So in this case, okay, let's see if I'm able to copy this question. I didn't think this through. Okay. So if I ask how can I add media resources to my data documents, obviously the AI will give me an answer. It finds the question, and it also, we ask him to give you a certainty level. So this one says high, so it's quite certain that this is the question, and it was taken specifically from this topic. But if I ask him something like, how do I make a mojito, or how do I execute an XSLT transformation, it will say that it cannot find the answer in the provided text, although the OpenAI model knows this, know how to execute an XSLT transformation in Oxygen from the huge content that it has indexed. For your question, he will look. We've instructed it to look just at the current topic and to give you and to find an answer here. Another thing that I should ask myself as a technical writer is what question does this topic that I'm writing answers? Because again, I might be surprised to see that the questions that the AI thinks this topic answers are not what I expect. But also I could store these questions as a metadata in the topic and maybe use them later on, you know, because this topic will undergo various changes. I will change text, I will add text. So maybe at a given time in the future, some answers that were initially answered by the topic will no longer be answered because the content was lost. So to help you with that, we have this generate questions action here. And you'll get a number of questions. If you want, you can ask for more questions, but let's do what I said. So I've chosen here a favorite prompt of mine that says that instructs the AI to convert these questions to data markup, to metadata, to data metadata. So we'll send this, and we get the questions as data other meta elements. Of course, for some reasons, the AI put some markdown markup here at the beginning, but we are instructed to remove. Okay. And afterwards, we can copy these. So I've instructed the AI to put another meta element with a Q name, and the question is as the value of the content attribute. And now we can go to Oxygen, and we can say paste as XML, and the questions are stored in the document. So at a given time in the future, I might say this is not longer required, and I remove this note. And if I go and say, oh, sorry, not this one. If I go and say answer questions again, and I select one of these questions, and I ask it, so I'll see that this question can no longer be answered by the current version of the document. So this is something that could be automated. I could create an AI prompt to automatically collect all these questions and to verify if they are answered by the content in the topic, and let me know which one it isn't. So interesting use cases. Besides all this help at writing technical documentation, we thought to create some positron actions to help you also with writing a number of release notes, something that you might do from time to time. For example, you get from the developer a set of issue titles, and you need to create the release notes. And I have such issue titles here from our AI Positron project, and I will select them and use this release notes action here. And the AI will generate some nicely readable release notes that I can copy and paste here. And now I can also make a marketing post. We have several frameworks here for creating this marketing post to help the AI to give it more context. I've also written introductory paragraph in which I'm saying this marketing post is about new release for the AI Positron, a few words on what the AI Positron does. And now I will select all this and ask for a marketing post. And I get one here on the right, one that it's obviously a lot better than I could have written myself. So that's quite handy. So let's talk a bit about workflows and how the chat view empowers these workflows. So the idea behind it is that no matter how much we refine these positron actions, they will not give you what you want 100% of the time. Because the AI itself has a temperature, creativeness setting that it's good for you, but it doesn't guarantee it will behave like you want. So the bottom point here being that each such positron action is actually an initiative or a conversation that gets started, and it might give you the correct answer from the first try, but it might require you to interact more, to change your requirements, to add additional requirements until you are happy with the result. And let's see how this goes in Oxygen. So I will select here a procedure about adding a media resource. And I will say improve readability, which this also has a number of parameters on it if you want to explore them. And I get some a proposal from the AI that I can preview. And after I inspect it, I decide that perhaps let's assume that the terminology is too complex for my audience. This is a section that is intended for novice audience, so I need to use simpler terms. So to get that, I will say I will add an additional request and say write for a beginner audience and use simple terms, and I will send it. And now I get something better, but it's more easy to understand, but still I am not happy. And as I inspect this requirement, I notice that there is something more that I should have asked. So I have the opportunity to edit this particular requirement here. So in this case, I might have just added the new requirements, but if the thread it's a long thread, then the answer it's not always the same. You know, if you change one of the questions or if you just add requirements. And in this case, I will change one of the requirements and I will say use simple term and also make a joke to break the ice. And I submit this new one. And if I notice that you know what, the previous answer was better, then I can click here on this arrow and I will be presented with the first branch, which I can perhaps refine more, but in this case, let's assume that the second answer is better, and I like it, so I will just apply this this new content. And a favorite, yes. So because I noticed that this is something that I will probably ask the AI a lot during my day-to-day work, I will copy this and save it as a favorite. We can say here audience novice. And now whenever I can, now again, I select this procedure, I say improve readability, I get the answer, and now if I want to apply this this requirement, I could just choose from here audience novice. I will the prompt will be inserted here, and I can easily press send. So it's a quick way for me to create such blocks that I can easily reuse whenever they are required. See, it talks about a piece of cake, so that's definitely something that I want in my documentation. History. So all these interactions, all these actions that I execute, they are recorded here in this history list. So if I want to go back and inspect the previous answer, or maybe continue a conversation, then I can just select the conversation from this history dropdown. And also here I have the opportunity to start a new chat from scratch. So perhaps um, I don't want to start with one of the predefined positron actions. I just ask the AI. Uh, I give him the the instructions from scratch. I might write them now, or perhaps I can use a prompt and afterwards get the reply, use the reply, or again refine it until I am happy with the response. Context. So if we go to AI preferences, you'll notice that we have a preferences page. So first, here you have the opportunity to switch between the OpenAI models that are used by the interactions. So by default, there will be will be ChatGPT, but you can also opt for the more powerful GPT-4. But this will consume more credits out of your monthly quota, so it's something that you should be aware of. But you will get more, more quality answers. But we've tried to fine tune all these positron action, to fine tune them so you'll get good answers with GPT 3.5 as well. So the fact that you want GPT-4, it will be a plus, but it is not a requirement. So I said context. So what do I mean by that is that there are some aspects about your project that we cannot be aware of. And it's important to give this information to the AI so you'll get more answers more attuned with your field, with your project. So for example, you might repair wind turbines, or you might work with semiconductors. This is good information that should be placed here in the context. Also, you could put here things from your company style guide on how to write the content. Again, everything that will help the AI steer the answer towards the form that it's appropriate for your documentation project and also for your company style guide. And we will pass this context information automatically to all the positron actions and to all the conversations that are initiated in the chat view. So another thing that's possible here is to specify an additional folder from which we will load such Positron Assistant actions. And also you have the possibility to not load these default ones if you want to create your own special actions and to see just those special actions perfectly tuned for your documentation project. And what I did here, because this folder is in my Oxygen project, I've used the project directory editor variable here, which gets expanded automatically to the project directory. And I saved this preference page to the project level. So what this means is that everyone from my team that works in this Oxygen project will have this configuration and will have all the actions that I've defined here in the custom actions folder. So to create a custom actions, let's assume that I want to convert unordered list to definition list, because in my documentation I've noticed that sometimes we tend to use just unordered list in places where a definition list should be used. So you see here, this is an unordered list, but I have a bold element here for the term that gets presented, and afterwards in the paragraph there's the description. So Dita has a special element for such scenarios. It's called the definition list. And now I want to create a positron action that will convert this unordered list to a definition list. So to do that, I will go to the custom actions folder in my project. So I've saved in preferences the settings that this folder is where custom actions are located. And I will create a new file. I will use the AI Positron custom actions template. We'll call it unordered list to definition list. So it's a JSON file. And you get content completion to help you build this action. But to speed things up, I've created a backup of the action that I will copy it. So we have a description that appears as a tooltip for the action, the title. This type is an indication on what Positron should do with the response that you get from the AI. In this case, is to replace the selection with the answer. We tell it that this action consumes markup, not just the text. So the Positron add-on will pass the entire data markup to the AI. And this, in the context, this is where we give the instructions for the AI. So in this case is to convert a data unordered list to a data definitions list, and make a definition term out of the first bold element, and also to wrap each document type and definition term and definition description into the definition list entry. So this is actually something that I've noticed. So if we take this part out and we go here, so you'll notice that the action has appeared under the other category. So now if I select the list and I invoke it, the response is here on the right, and you'll notice that the definition list entry is missing, right? So the DT and DD elements should be wrapped into a DLE entry element. So to fix that is why I've added this additional instruction here to put this missing element. So we'll save and we'll try again. And this time, you see, we have the definition list added. So this is how, and I've forgotten another instruction. So the bold element is still present. So again, I can give it another instructions. Remove the bold element, save, and try it again. So like I said, it's an iteration, it's a trial and error until you get the desired answer. Okay, custom actions. So recording examples. Why? So the first question would be, why do you want to record examples? Well, it's a best practice in prompt engineering that says that first, when you want something from the AI, you should ask directly. just tell it what to do, give him some instruction. And this is called 0 shots. And you might get what you want, but sometimes you might not. For example, in here in this screenshot, I'm asking the AI to put data menu item markup on this text. And the result, it's okay, but it put file in a UI control, close in a UI control, but it didn't place the menu cascade around everything. And here on the right, with the conversion from a list to a definition list, it forgot to put the definition list entry and to remove the bold element. Again, this is something that you might be able to fix just by giving him additional instructions, but at some point you will notice it's not possible. And to help in such situation, you should go with this few shot recommendation, which basically means just give him some examples, show him how to do things. If I give you this, then I expect you to give this back to me. And how you do that to help you with creating these examples. So let's open a sample file. We have this action here, record changes. So we click it, and afterwards we say add data menu item markup to a text. So these are the instructions. And afterwards I say start recording. And I go here and I edit an editor or maybe multiple editors and do what I expect him to do. So for example, here I will put an UI control and here another UI control, and I'll remove this character, and afterwards I will wrap them in a menu cascade like so. See? And I click stop. And Oxygen at this point, the AI Positron, will automatically extract this example. So it saw that initially the text was like this, edit, paste, and afterwards I added this particular markup. And what I can do now is to save this as a Positron action or perhaps as a chat favorite that I've shown you earlier. But let's go with the Positron actions. Maybe a description, and just click save, and the action will appear here. So now to try it, I will undo these changes and maybe copy a couple, I don't know, maybe say here another something else, file open. So now if I select this and invoke add menu item on it and hit preview, well, it's not, let's apply, and it will be easier to understand what happened. So it put markup like I've shown him in that examples. Now I have Positron actions that I can share with the team. An AI Positron Fix. So why? And what does it mean? Well, the thing is that each company has its own style guide on how to write documentation, and many have implemented the schematron rules to enforce these requirements. And schematron has a great thing to schematron is the fact that the messages are human readable. So it's easy to understand what the problem is and how to fix it. And AI is great at understanding human language. So if you already have this schematron rules, it means you can ask the AI without any additional effort to fix these errors for you. And so for example, here I have a short description, so that it's too long. So because of that, the schematron rules get fired that says short description should be concise, rephrase it to a maximum of 50 words. If we look at the schematron, we notice that it is plain schematron, it just matches on the short description and tokenizes the word to words and counts them, It's no magic here. And what I can do is here in the results, you'll notice this AI Positron Fix action. So if I click it again, it's using the chat view, and I'll get the answer from the AI, and this problem gets fixed. And the short description was rewritten to have less than 50 words. And I had many other such examples for you, but I see that we are close to our time, so I will, if you're interested, just let me know afterwards and I can share with you more examples, or you can try it yourself, on your own schematron rules. So AI functions, so we went with this schematron idea a step further, and we've implemented a number of expat functions. AI verify content, in which you give a set of instructions and a text, and what it will do is to verify if with the AI if the text given respects these instructions, and depending on the answer it will return a true or false. So you can use this verify content function in your schematron rules, in author actions that are based on XSLT operations, and even in XML refactoring operations in Oxygen. And the second function, it's called transform content, and you give it again instructions and text, and what it does, it will ask the AI to perform these instructions on the given text. So basically you can check things using the AI, and afterwards you can correct them using the AI again. And again, I had some examples for this. Maybe. So here is a schematron error that says the spelling and grammar should be corrected. This is not grammarly correct. And I have a quick fix that says correct spelling and grammar, which it does. And if we open the associated schematron file, you notice the check is done using the AI, using this verify content function, and the solution, the quick fix again, is based on the AI using the transform content function. AI Positron for web author. So if, like I said, you go to the Oxygen XML web author page and you try it online and you select one of the, try it online and you select one of the documents, you'll get this similar Oxygen Positron Assistant side view. It looks a bit different because the layout is different. We didn't have the same screen estate. But all the actions that I've presented are here in this drop-down menu, and I can, select something and afterwards say improve readability. Again, I'll be able to inspect the answer from the AI. I can replace it directly, or I can preview again in a visual manner. I can inspect what changes are proposed by the AI, and if I'm happy with the result, again I can just click apply, and the changes are merged into the documents. So I will let you explore AI Positron in the web author as well. There's the history drop down, the possibility to start a new chat from scratch, to refine existing answers from the AI, and so on. So I think we still have 10 minutes or so for questions. Radu?
Alex, thanks for a very instructive webinar in which you covered most of the important aspects of the AI Positron Assistant add-on. Everyone, you have a questions box in which you can ask Alex questions now. As we wait for your questions, Alex, can you tell us maybe about future plans for the add-on and maybe when you plan to release a new version of the add-on?
Yes, so the next version for AI Positron is scheduled in a couple of weeks, so mid-November probably, and we intend to introduce this subscription, the subscriptions packages, to give you the possibility to perhaps work more with GPT-4 models, which give more higher quality answers. And we've also added a couple of new positron actions. We'll redesign a bit the interface to make it more intuitive and to have everything more at your disposal. And yeah, and we wait for your feedback, because positron has a release cycle and a development. It's so intense that this is a great time to give us this feedback, because we can actually integrate it quite quickly in the next releases.
We have two questions right now. A question from Edward, who says, most of your examples are in the context of data XML content, and can the positron be used with proprietary DTDs?
You want to answer that, Radu, or should I?
So yes, maybe half of the actions that we created are for data XML content, are a little bit targeted towards data XML. The other half is more generic and work on any type of XML document. Other insights, Alex, maybe create their own actions.
Right.
Yeah, so you can create your own proprietary custom actions and distribute them in a project, for example. As Alex showed, in the preferences page, you can link to a folder containing custom actions.
And actually, the chat view, its integration, it's available for all document types. So you can save favorites. So everything in the chat view works with any document type. It's just some of the, you won't see some of the actions, because we will detect if the document is data or not, and some actions will be hidden because they were attuned for data.
Another question from Shirley. She says, please explain what credits are about when choosing the GPT model.
So the credit is closely linked with token concept in OpenAI models. So basically, each word gets split it into these so-called tokens. It's something like one word, it's around 3 tokens. And basically the cost when asking a question to the AI is directly linked with the number of such tokens that get ingested and afterwards that get you get in the response that get generated. So a credit in AI Positron basically represents one of these tokens in OpenAI.
Yes. Another question from Manfred. He asks, is Positron optimized specifically for data, or is it suitable for TI documents or documents with their own schema? And I think it's the same answer as in case of Edward's question. Some of the actions are targeted towards data XML documents, and they are not available when you open a TI document, for example. Other actions which will be present there should work in any context, and then you can create your own actions and share them with others.
Yes,
do you have anything else to add?
But on the other hand, for a TI document, you definitely don't need a marketing post or to increase readability, you know, because the text needs to remain as it is. So there are other requirements. It would be interesting to see some positron actions specifically designed for TI.
Another question which is related to data is this. I think it's why my Positron Actions window has less action buttons than yours. For example, no buttons connected with translations from Piotr. And I think this is the case when Piotr is not editing data XML documents, and the translation aware actions are I think they were targeted towards data XML documents and disappear if you open, for example, a docbook document or a TI document.
So you can see it here. So this is a data document and we see all the actions, but if I switch to something else like a schematron, there will be less.
Yes, it seems Piotr came back and says, never mind, I have no document opened. And yeah, this is correct. If you don't open any document, you have, I think, the minimal amount of actions possible for that. Franz Josef says a big thank you and greetings to Radu and Alex. Manfred says, is documentation made available for Positron? So yeah, we have a blog post showing how most of the Positron actions work and describing various actions, and the user's manual. So yes, we have documentation, and yeah, we also have the Positron server main page in which you have a terms of service. Yeah, so we have some documentation for that. A question from John. The actions demo today are local to a specific topic. Is there a way to define a broader context by selecting a group of files directly in Oxygen's project view? I assume this would consume a lot more credits since more tokens will be consumed. And I think, Alex, did you tell John about this new feature we're working on?
So you did ask me, and I think I forgot to mention it. But yes, in the next release, in like 2 weeks or so, there will be the possibility to apply these positron actions as well as custom prompts on multiple files in the project view or in the data maps manager. We'll call it AI positron refactoring.
Yeah, I used it, for example, to translate a small data map from English to French, and it takes a while, but it produces a valid data map. So,
And it also gives you an estimation on the number of credits that will get consumed if you go along and use it.
Yeah, especially if you switch to using GPT-4, you're gonna have a nasty surprise if you have a little bit of credits, because GPT-4 will consume more credits. Peter Jan again asks about the same thing. He says, data-related questions, changes are currently within one topic. Would it be possible to make the changes within an Oxygen XPR or data map? And you will be able to also invoke on a data map context the XML refactoring operation. IU says, how did you handle information security when you applied ChatGPT to Oxygen as the model behind AI Positron add-on? What's your take on this, Alex?
So we don't keep the data on our servers. So it's passed to OpenAI, and as I mentioned, the OpenAI terms and condition stipulate that they will not use this data in any way to train their models or to do anything with them. All our connections are done through HTTPS, so yeah, so they are safe. Do you want to add something, Radu?
Yeah, so our AI Positron service connects to the OpenAI server, and we need to rely on them at some point on their privacy terms, and they say that they're not using your content to train their engine. John again says, is there a subforum on your support site for users to share useful actions? Is there a better place than the forum? So something like, I don't know, like a common repository. Maybe we can create some common GitHub repository on which we could share some custom actions of ours, and others maybe could contribute their own custom actions. What you say, Alex, about this?
It's an interesting idea, yes, like a community marketplace or storage.
Question again from Manfred. He says, does this positron function work with the three-way comparison tool? And I'm not sure how to interpret this. So we have that preview dialog which shows what content you are about to insert, but I'm not sure how. What's your take on this, Manfred? Maybe you can follow up with an email or yeah. Scott says, I like the AI positron refactoring feature. That would be very useful. And it would be very useful. It takes a while, so for each file you would expect about maybe 5 to 6 seconds to send the content, to have the AI process it and send it back, and it consumes more credits, but it is more useful, especially that it shows you the preview at the end, so you can reject certain changes. John says, when we need to purchase more credits, do you purchase them from OpenAI or from Synchrosoft? And the answer is that you will purchase them from our own, let's say, buy page. You will have a buy page with the various plans, and for each plan you will decide if you want it to have automatic renewal every month, or if you just want to take credits for 1 month and use them. What's your take on this, Alex?
I think you've made it very clearly. Yes, this is how we intend to release these subscription models. The credits will come from us, and we'll take care of the interaction with OpenAI.
So yes, thanks for sticking with us so far. If you had any other questions, please don't forget to ask them via email, and we'll get back to you on this. Thank you again. Aline, do you have anything to add?
Thank you, Radu. First of all, thank you for helping us with our audience's questions. Again, thank you, Alex. Big thanks for another great and comprehensive presentation. First of all, let me remind you that the event is being recorded, and you will find the recording along with Alex's presentation slides on the event page starting tomorrow. And if you have any comments or follow-up questions regarding our presentation, you can write to us directly by using the Oxygen feedback commenting platform found at the bottom of this page, or just contact us by email. Regarding our upcoming events, let me tell you that our webinar series just started with today's instance. So next week, we will have the What is New in Oxygen XML Web Author 26, the webinar that Alex previously mentioned. During this webinar, you will discover the new features included in the latest releases of the Oxygen XML Web Author, with a special focus on version 26 related to security, concurrent editing, profiling attributes, and so much more. Then on the 8th of November, we will have Introducing Oxygen JSON Editor, the ultimate solution for JSON editing webinar. Whether you're a seasoned developer looking for a specialized tool or just starting out with JSON, the brand new Oxygen JSON Editor is designed to meet all your JSON editing needs. And in this 1 hour live event, you will discover how Oxygen JSON Editor can revolutionize your JSON development workflow. Then moving on, as we speak, we are getting ready for the new release of Oxygen Feedback version 4. So on the 15th of November, we will have an exciting webinar where we will dive deep into its new features, such as faceted search, advanced query capabilities, content labeling, and semantic search. So don't miss it. Then we move forward to the 22nd of November with Exploring Oxygen's YAML Support webinar. During this webinar, we will explore a range of features and improvements that have been implemented, offering you a comprehensive understanding of Oxygen's capabilities when working with YAML documents. And finally, our last scheduled webinar for this year, at the moment, of course, will be on the 29th of November, Discover the Power of Diff with Change Tracking. So you can join us for this webinar, also a webinar that will focus on the comparison support that Oxygen provides while presenting some of the new and exciting capabilities of the merge documents with change tracking highlights and merge directories with change tracking highlights. And as always, I encourage you to take a look at our events page, where you can also find the links to register for these webinars, as well as to find out the list of conferences where you can meet with the Oxygen team in person. So with this being said, again, I want to thank Alex and Radu for this great presentation and for helping us with the questions. The biggest thank you of them all is to you for being able to join us today, you, our audience. And nothing is left to say. So see you next week. And until then, have a wonderful day or evening. Bye-bye.